What I loved about Glass Onion is how it deconstructed the typical murder mystery and elevated it in such a modern and refreshing way. To me, this film is a true sequel in the way that it takes the concept from the first film and the themes and creates a bigger, more elaborate puzzle for the audience to construct. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to For the Agenda. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Huang, and on this channel, I essentially watch mainstream content and let you know if it's worth your time because your time is valuable and no one should tell you otherwise. So, today, I'm going to be talking to you about the newest film, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. Now, this is a sequel to, of course, the very successful Knives Out. The second film is coming from Netflix and it will be in theaters on November 23rd for 1 week only. And I gotta say, Glass Onion, it was one of the films I was most looking forward to this year. And after finally having seen it, I loved it. I thought it lived up to my expectations, and I'm so glad I get to talk about this. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried. I was a little worried because, you worry when if a sequel can deliver or not, but thankfully for me, the sequel delivered. So this sequel revolves around a new cast of characters. We follow tech billionaire Miles Braun, who invites his friends to a private Greek island for a murder mystery weekend, and something ends up happening. Benoit Blanc is on the case, and we follow along as madness and chaos ensues. You might be asking yourself, do you need to watch the first Knives Out to watch this? Technically, no, you don't have to watch it, which is great for casual moviegoers who missed the first film. I felt this worked as a standalone film. But since this is coming out during Thanksgiving and the first film was a perfect film for November, you may want to watch it either after you see Glass Onion if you haven't seen it, or even before. It's up to you, but I don't really think it's necessary. I wouldn't even say a rewatch is necessary to enjoy Glass Onion. It catches you up to speed quickly enough, and the first film is barely mentioned, but it will be a great time either way. So it's up to you. What I loved about this sequel, besides the fact that it raised the stakes, there are so many layers to peel back with these characters, and it makes it such an enjoyable watch as it all unravels in front of you. And that's what makes it fun. You go along for the mystery, you try to solve it, and when you get to the end, you look at the journey you took and pick up on the clues you missed. Even if you get close to solving it or you still enjoy the ride. So that is the point of a fun murder mystery. Ryan Johnson to me understands how a murder mystery should be fun for the audience to experience, unlike a certain other murder mystery movie that came out in February to theaters. I'll let you guys put that puzzle together yourself. And I thought this film was absolutely hilarious. I could not stop laughing, especially with Kate Hudson's character, who was my absolute favorite. Speaking of the cast, what a star studded lineup we have here. Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc, iconic as always. This is, for me, a career defining role for him, and he keeps nailing it. Benoit Blanc will go down in history with the greatest of detectives, in my opinion, because he is just so great to watch on screen. Janelle Monet, what a powerhouse. She is an absolute star and was simply incredible. I loved what she did with her character without going into specifics because none of the surprises in this film should be ruined for you. I'm looking at you, film Twitter. I always do. This film comes out a month in advance. You got to control yourself. I thought Janelle Monáe handled the character's arc and the tension she had to build in this film so well. She easily captivated you, and she was a standout. She was one of my favorites. I just thought Janelle Monáe is excellent. We need more Janelle Monáe on screen. Now, Kate Hudson, absolutely fabulous. She played that role perfectly and was a nonstop riot. Kate Hudson to me is a great dramatic actress, and you can appreciate that here, but she is also a force to be reckoned with when it comes to comedy. And you can see why she had a chokehold on that genre. I want to see her in more comedic roles, if I'm being honest. And on the big screen, she's just exceptional. And seeing her back, the Kate Hudson Renaissance isn't too far away. And I think it's coming. Catherine Hahn, she was really great as well. And talk about perfect casting. She took that role and made it her own and made it, I think, even better than what was supposed to be on that paper. I also want to give a shout out to Madeline Klein and Jessica Henwick, who don't have the most screen time, but they make the most of what they're given and they run with it. I really thought they were standouts. As for the rest of the performances here, the men in this case, I felt they took a bit of a backseat in the story, which I'm okay with. I thought it was great either way. For example, with Edward Norton, I thought this was a role I'd expect from him. It kind of felt sometimes like he was maybe playing himself a little bit, but that's fine. I still think he does a great job and he does deliver in that regard. He does the character very well. I thought Leslie Odom Jr. was also good, but in his case, his character doesn't have the most to do. But seeing him on screen is always a delight. And what he does here is again really good. I kind of wish he had a bigger role, but I'm genuinely happy with what he does. Now, Dave Bautista, he surprised me. I knew he could do comedy, and especially with the right script. He's always game and he's down to try things. But here, he is a star. He knocks it out of the park and he genuinely impressed me. I thought he was great. I thought he was great in Blade Runner 2049. I thought he was great in Dune. Here, I like that he manages to balance comedy and some drama and does it exceptionally well. He keeps proving why, out of the WWE superstars that go into acting, why he is really elevating himself with each role he gets. I thought he was just fantastic. This movie is so sharp and clever, just like the first one. It's so entertaining and handles topics like, class, deception, greed, and protecting yourself at whatever cost. It handles it so well. It's also really well paced. I didn't think it was too long, and I was never taken out of the mystery. And it also makes sure that the audience is enjoying themselves. Now, I gotta say, the ending and how we get to the ending, it's going to divide audience, but I totally got what Ryan Johnson was doing when he peeled everything back and you realize why everything happened the way it did and the justification for doing so made the ride that much better, and the film becomes an extraordinary puzzle to examine. For me, it worked. Furthermore, this film deserves a traditional theatrical run because, wow, was this made to be seen on the big screen? Netflix, come on, 1 week? You gotta give it a little bit more time than that. Again, it's only gonna be in theaters for a week before you have to wait till like December 23rd to see it on Netflix. And to me, it's kind of a crime because not everyone can make it to the theaters in 1 week to see this. Had it been like 2 weeks, I think there everyone could have made it. But I would actually tell you, spend your money to see it ahead of time in theaters instead of waiting for Netflix. I generally think that Netflix is doing the right thing putting this in a theater. I think it needs to be for a bit more time, but this is again worth seeing on the big screen, and then you rewatch it on December 23rd, which is right before Christmas. I think that's going to be a pretty good watch during the holiday season. Splurge a bit because the experience you get watching this with an audience, you can't compare to watching it at home. Now, I know we're supposed to be getting a third film, and I'll be honest, I will keep watching these films as long as Daniel Craig and Ryan Johnson want to keep making them. They are phenomenal for me. I'm a murder mystery fan, and this film really gets it. This is a gold mine for Ryan Johnson. He should keep making these films. If I gotta wait 2 to 3 years to watch them, I'll wait. I think it's worth waiting. They're worth the wait. Now, do I think Glass Onion is better than the first one? At first, I said yes. But when I thought about it, to me, they're quite even. They're very different films, but I will say the second one is a bit more fun. It's funnier, even though it's just as sharp as the original. I feel that the first one also balances it out by having a more dramatic element, which I also loved. And the setting is so great. It's very cozy. That's what I love about the first Knives Out. It's very cozy. Whereas Glass Onion, it's that kind of film you want to watch during the summer because, of course, the Greek island, even spring break, but you can really watch it at any time of the year. They're very much on the same level right now. But I think with a rewatch, it will ultimately be the deciding factor. But I did have more fun watching this film in theaters than the first one. So maybe the second one has a slight edge right now. But in the end, Glass Onion deconstructs a typical murder mystery and elevates it with a clever, modern twist. It's an extremely fun, hilarious ride that is just as sharp as the original and has an incredible ensemble cast. Now, my rating for this, it's going to be a 9 out of 10. I loved it. I'm glad it delivered on my expectations. It could end up on my best of the year list, my forever screwed best of the year list. I don't think I can do a top 10 anymore. I don't think I can do a top 15. I think I'm gonna have to just leave it at a top 20. There's just so much good cinema in here, and Glass Onion just added itself to the pile. I loved it. I cannot wait to rewatch it. And I hope you get to watch this film in theaters. And if you can't make it to theaters, stay off Twitter. Try to mute all those words of Glass Onion and avoid the spoilers and watch it day one on Netflix, December 23rd. You're not going to want to miss this. And that is my review of Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you can hit the like button and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. And you can follow me on Twitter, on Letterboxd, and on Serialized at Leading Mohicans. And remember, regardless of what others feel about the things you love, it is always for the agenda. Bye.